It's the last qualifying heats of the 2019 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season here, being held at Wackersdorf's Pro Kart Raceland circuit. And to close out the action of the penultimate day of the season, it's DD2 and DD2 Masters. Your grid is as follows. On pole position, it's Sander Schriblak, and alongside him will be the 484 of Manuel Tenschert from Austria. There's Christian Sorensen and David Remy rounding out row number 2 in 425 and 455 respectively. Then on row 3, it's the 431 of Niklas Grens from Germany and Mark Bartels alongside in the number 410. Then it's Marcel Steinert with Florian Breitenbach alongside on row number 4. Lukas Horstmann and Roberto Pajewski in the numbers 434 and 566 round out the top 5 rows. That's the completion of the top 10. Then it's an all DD2 Masters row 6 with the defending champion Slavomir Moransky in the 561. We'll have Konrad Bayer from RS Competition in the 508 alongside. Matthias Dahl in the 412 will be alongside Oliver Breitenbach in the 432 on row number 7, with Ronny Göttler in the number 499, Daniel Oberreuter in the 429, and Jakob Bezel having to start all the way down in 17th place. So the red lights ignited on the starting gantry for one final time here on Saturday, September the 7th. After this race, we go into finals day tomorrow morning from 10:30 a.m. local time as the grid gets into the rolling start formation. They go into the tram lines. Do we get lights out one final time here on Saturday afternoon? Yes, we do. Off into turns 1, 2, and 3 we go. Looks like a great move there. Looks like Tenschert's down into 4th already. Maybe, yes, that is the case. So both Sorensen and Tenschert's having to fend off the likes of just keeping an eye on who's behind. Marcel Steiner got another great start yet again, and is just in front. Looks to be David Remy of the 455, just behind the 413. Then it is Florian Breitenbach that's just behind David Remy. Top 3 starting to break away. So you have, at the minute, Sander Schriblak leading. We'll find out how the order is rearranged as they come across the start-finish line now. And it's Christian Sorensen that is in 2nd position. Niklas Grens in 3rd. Top 3 separated by just over half a second. We'll make that Grens up into 2nd, past Sorensen through into turn number 4. It was a great move from the German on the 431. David Remy in 5th place at the minute. Having got part, looks like Marcel Steiner has dropped back down into 7th place. A little bit further down the order, Pajewski is not leading the DD2 Masters class in this particular race because that honour is bestowed on Poland's Slavomir Moransky. As a nice move there by number 401 of Jakob Bezel, one of 3 drivers contesting the championship, one of which is at the front of the field as Sander Schriblak has a lead of 4.5 tenths of a second over Niklas Grens, who is closing and has just taken nearly 1/10 of a second out of Schriblak on that last lap alone. So gap now 0.425 of a second as Bezel trying to battle with the likes of Bartels down at the bottom part of the top 12 as Grens is closing on Schriblak. Going with them is Christian Sorensen, as there's a nice little move there. That looks to be the number 433 of Florian Breitenbach that's just got past David Remy, and that is for 5th position. Just behind them is Marcel Steiner, Slavomir Moransky in 8th, leading the DD2 Masters class. Just ahead of Roberto Pajewski, and that is by about 4/10 of a second as the entire field has now made its way through turn 3. Leaders now going through turn 6. As Schriblak now getting a bit hot under the collar, I fear. As Grens is trying to close the gap. And this is really going to help Sander Schriblak's hopes of a European Championship. He won the B&L Karting Series last year. He took a heat win earlier on. He had a bit of a difficult weekend back in Kristianstad, especially with one final where he actually went straight on at turn 1 due to a brake or steering issue, if memory serves me correctly. But he is on full song right now as the Belgian from Bouvin Power. But Niklas Grens has just closed up another 7/100ths of a second on the Belgian. As Jakob Bezel has got past Mark Bartels, now up into 11th place. So Jakob Bezel trying to make some inroads to try and help his chances. So both he and brother Peter, who run under the KSCA Austria team that also field Nico Jörg. And it's very close between the top 3. And now Niklas Grens is on the hunt for Belgian blood roundabout now as he comes very cleanly out of turn 12. He's going up the inside of the Belgian, well, tried to thereof. Couldn't have enough room there, I fear, for him to get past. So he's had to get back into second position, refocus, and now start to make that resurgent attack once again on Sander Schriblak, which he's starting to do now. He's a bit deeper on the brakes, going into the hairpin at turn 6. Through the triple right-hander they go. First turn 7, now turn 8, into turn 9, into the 90 left at turn 10. And Grens again is closing up. Could he have a better run this time coming out of turn 12? Might be the case. As they go over the slight hump that leads them on to turn 13, Grens is now going to try and use the momentum of the slipstream advantage he's going to have. And the gap now has stayed around just over a 10.5. It's 0.185 between first and second. Running order at the moment is Schriblak from Grens, Sorensen, Tenschert, Florian Breitenbach, David Remy, Marcel Steiner, Slavomir Moransky, Lukas Horstmann, Roberto Bejewski. Then we got Jakob Bezel in 11th, ahead of Mark Bartels, Matthias Dahl, Oliver Breitenbach, Ronny Göttler, Daniel Overheuter, and Konrad Bayer. And that's the full 17-strong DD2 and DD2 Masters grid. Still circulating here at Wackersdorf. As the change has happened, Germany's Niklas Grens hits the front ahead of Sander Schriblak, but Schriblak now has a chance to put the boot on the other foot, so to speak, as he was trying to force the issue going through turn 4, into the left at turn 5, now into the turn left 6, hairpin at 6, through 7, through into 8, now into the right-hander at 9 before they go left again into turn 10. It's a short blast down to turn 11. And the fastest lap of the race was set on the previous lap, and that goes to Germany's very own Niklas Grens in the 4:31. The entire field separated by just over 11.8 seconds. And we now have just under 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes 20, plus an additional lap. And the gap has been further extended by Niklas Grens, who did a 49.713. Son of Schriblak now having to consolidate, I think, a second place finish here. He did a 49.952, so he's over 0.4 of a second behind Niklas Grens. And just keeping an eye on Christian Sorensen in the 4:25, and he was actually quicker by about a 1/10.5 than Sander Schriblak. So the top 3 definitely cleanly breaking away. Then it's a further 1.2 seconds back to Manuel Tenschert in 4th. Then there's a battle for 5th between the number 433 of Florian Breitenbach and the number 455 of Sweden's David Remy. Just behind them is Marcel Steiner, who hasn't been able to make inroads like he did in his first heat earlier on, as the gap now extends further. Grens now over half a second, 0.586 in front of Schriblak. The fastest lap of the race has now gone to Lukas Horstmann, down in 9th place, who is about 4 and a bit tenths of a second behind Slavomir Moransky, who continues to lead the DD2 Masters class in this last qualifying heat of the season. 120 seconds. It's 2 minutes plus an additional lap left to go. And I just see that Sorensen is closing out once again. He was over a tenth of a second quicker than Schiblak, who could find that second position might be under threat right now. So Keynes comes out, powers out the final corner, turn 14, onto the start-finish straight, crosses the finish line, and his gap now is .646. And all of the top three did their personal best, and Keynes was the quickest of the three of them. Schiblak was the slowest by just over 60 hundredths of a second. That's how tight it is between the top three in terms of pure race pace. Tenchert is definitely keeping hold of fourth at the minute, with Florian Breitenbach still holding station in fifth, but has got David Remy slingshotting past him. That's a great move from the Swede through into turn number 12. So Remy on what is basically the second from last lap. But no, it's side by side between the pair as Florian Breitenbach counters and reassumes fifth position ahead of the Swede whilst they're battling. This is allowing the likes of Steinert, Moransky and Horstman. And Horstman still running in the 49.6s. That's great pace, as is Moransky. And they're actually running quicker than the top seven. So Keynes still has a fair lead. So Keynes comes over the hump, over into turn 13, now into turn 14. So it's last lap board, last lap of the qualifying heat action here in Wackersdorf. And Keynes has just been in a 49.639. That's over a tenth and a half quicker than Sander Schiblak. So we've got about 900 or so meters left still to go. I don't think anyone's going to have a chance at beating Niklas Keynes. So we're going to go into the last couple of hairpins for the final time, and Keynes has done enough to keep the opposition at bay. As soon as he got past Sander Schiblak, it was only a case of how far he could extend that gap. It wasn't going to be much, but it was going to be enough because he's going to come through turn 13. Now pushing down the throttle fully comes Niklas Keynes from Germany to take the final qualifying heat win of the season in DD2, ahead of Sander Schiblak and Christian Sorensen. Who's going to win in DD2 Masters? It's Sławomir Moransky, the defending champion. What a drive from the Polish ace. And he has an opportunity to really factor into tomorrow's finals. So the final qualifying heat of the 2019 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season results looks as thus. Niklas Keynes from Germany takes the win from Belgium's Sander Schiblak by over 3/4 of a second. Christian Sorensen rounds out the top three ahead of Austria's Manuel Tenchert, with Florian Breitenbach fending off David Remy right until the bitter end to take fifth position. Marcel Steinert wouldn't get any further than seventh position at the end, with Sławomir Moransky taking a DD2 Masters heat win ahead of Lukas Horstmann. Jakub Bezel made his way up to 10th at the flag ahead of Roberto Paszewski, who still has a lead going into tomorrow's last finals day of the season. Mark Bartels finished in 12th ahead of Ronny Göttler, Matthias Dahl, Oliver Breitenbach, Daniel Oberreuter, and last but by no means least, my good friend Mr. Konrad Bayer.